So, my name is Topaz Burgett, and this is my final presentation on why I am unique. This is for Biology 3170, which is genetics, taught by Dr. Conti, and I guess we're going to begin now. So, first and foremost, this is my first slide, and it shows a picture of my eyes because I feel as though that is a defining characteristic. I'm sorry. That is a defining characteristic, and I thought it was appropriate to welcome the topic of me being unique. So, let's get started. So, I live with my mother, and I've been living with her way before college, way before I went to college. And the second most common family arrangement is children living with a single mother, which is 23% of children. And all over the world, people grow up in different family arrangements. Sometimes they grow up with their father, their aunt, grandparents, uncles. I happen to grow up with my mom in the later stages of my childhood, which is just fine. Here's a picture of my mother, and that's Ratchet, but we will talk about him a little later. But yeah, that's my mother. So I have siblings, unlike a lot of people in this world, which is pretty fortunate, I'd say. I have 4 brothers. I'm the only girl, and I am the youngest. So 80% of Americans have at least one brother or sister. I, like I mentioned before, have 4 brothers. In this top photo is the brother closest in my age, which is Sean. Then I have my second oldest brother, which is Jason. My third, which is Chase, and my fourth, which is Kyle over here. My 2 oldest siblings actually have, they began their families. So these are actually my niece and my nephew. So out of my 4 brothers, I actually have a twin, which people are very surprised to hear. This is him, opposite sexes, light complexion, light eyes. We're very different physically and mentally, but we are indeed twins. He was born 5 minutes before me. Here's a baby picture of us when we were in daycare. This is a picture from our senior photos, and that was our birthday this year, March 9th. So in 2000, about 9.3% of live births were twins. And we were actually born in 2000, so we are indeed a part of that 2.93% of the people who were twins born in 2000, which is pretty cool because there's not a lot of us. So then I also have a job. 60.8% of the United States population is employed. This is a picture of me working at the Keystone College Eatery and Market. This was in the beginning when it was just opening, which it kind of is still freshly opened. But that was more like when we had just opened the doors. And in addition to the Keystone College Eatery and Market, I also work as a caterer at the University of Scranton, which I try to get as much hours in there as I can, usually in the summer when we're home from school. Moving forward, I have pets, probably the most exciting thing in my life. 67% of American households have a pet. And I actually have more than one pet. I have 4 Yorkies and 1 pit bull. I'll quickly give you the names for a second. So this little one right here, his name is Charlie. He's our youngest boy. This is obviously our pit bull. Her name is Halo. There's 2 pictures of her written right here, or presented right here. In this photo here, we have Coco and we have Bella. And then this is Ratchet, the pretty little boy who was in the beginning slides. So I have 5 dogs, and I love them oh so very much. I am a Pisces. About 33% of Americans believe in astrology, and I actually do. I think that there are some similarities among characteristics in, the same astrology. I think that there's similar characteristics across different astrologies. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Meaning, just me particularly, I know a few Pisces, and it's not hard to find similar characteristics between us. But in reality, you could always kind of find something to relate to in somebody else. But I still do believe in Pisces. I still believe in astrology and that I am a Pisces. I read my horoscope and I just relate to it. And I am one of those few people who believe in astrology and follow my readings to try and live the best life I could. So right here is just a picture of me just enjoying nature because, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of like a selfless photo, just sort of concentrating on the nature and just relaxing. And I think that comes in handy when it comes to Pisces. That's just my opinion. And this is a little quote right here saying, only competing with myself, me versus me, because that is a mindset that I go by. Not sure if that relates to me being a Pisces or not, but I know that Pisces are very headstrong, or they're supposed to be headstrong and, very ambitious. And I think that that defines me. My only competition is myself. And I believe that. So moving forward, I spent too much time on that. I suffered from a concussion. This was a few years ago, but an estimated 47% of TBIs are caused by falls every year. So, quick story. I wrote it right here, but I'll explain it right now. When I was younger, I was playing in the field with my brothers, typical, and some friends. And this clothesline right here was loose, like twisting off. And I was like 80 pounds. And everyone was swinging off of it. Everybody was swinging off of it. But the one time I went to swing off, I guess it twisted off and it bashed my head in. And me and the pole fell to the ground. I was knocked unconscious. I was in the hospital after that. I wasn't able to perform at my cheerleader competition the next week. And yeah, so I suffered a mild concussion, but I'm here today and I'm very grateful. And that's just one little thing that sets me apart from everybody else. So I am a cheerleader. About 1.1% of the nation are cheerleaders. So I was cheering pretty much a good portion of my life, kind of. And if you ask me, I'm still kind of a beginner, but I'm learning and just having fun with it while it's, at Keystone College. And I'm just living my best life, supporting the team, supporting my girls and boys, and just doing what we got to do to support our school. So about 1.1%, I think I already read that. I'm sorry. But to show you, this picture up here is when we went to competition. I think that's me on the side over here, and my two other flyers over here. Great girls, love them to death. The entire team is a beast. This is a picture down here of just a solo photo. This is another picture from competition. This is the hardest stunt sequence that I ever had to do. It was, I think that's a scale or an arabesque. I'm sorry. I never said I was a professional. And this is actually when I was cheerleader of the month with Pascal and Matt, which I was very proud of. And that's that's not Pascal. That's Chantel. I'm sorry. And that is a chair. So yeah, I'm a flyer, by the way, if you didn't guess that already. So also, I am a first-generation college student. I am the only child of my parents to go to college, and I'm very proud of it, but it is a lot of pressure. But that does set me apart from my entire family and the rest of the world. So 56% of undergraduates nationally were first-generation college students during the 2015 to 2016 academic year. My guess is that when I enrolled in college, which was 2018, I would say that this definitely increased. This number definitely increased because kids, I feel like as time goes on, generations, move along, we're becoming more ambitious, and we are understanding that there are sacrifices that have to be made in order to live the life that we want to live. In addition to that, the generations are just becoming more aware of what we have to do to protect our environment, politics, everything like that. So I think in general, this number is going to continue to increase because people are going to want to get their degrees and further their education and begin to make the difference in the world. So yeah, here's a picture of me just at Keystone, just a picture of Keystone College. So last but not least, I had Osgood Schlatter, which I kind of still experience pains from this. It restricts me a lot kind of when bending my knees, or I cannot bend on my knees and stand directly on, or like stand on my knees directly, how people kneel down. Can't do that. I feel like I'll collapse. But about 20% of adolescent athletes experience Osgood Schlatter, and 60% of adults who experience this condition have some pain with kneeling. As I mentioned before, I was a gymnast when I was experiencing this condition. It actually put me out, and I haven't been a gymnast since. I never went back to gymnastics because the pain was just unbearable, and it was so restrictive, and maybe those are my excuses, but this definitely took a toll on my physical functions when it came to gymnastics. So I unfortunately had to say goodbye. But yeah, so to explain what this condition is basically what my doctor explained to me as, in simpler words, it is when your knee bones are actually growing too fast for your legs and just the rest of your body in general. So you have friction rubbing in this area due to a bone, keep rubbing in there. And yeah, a lot of Osgood Schlatter patients have this real crazy dent going outside of their knee, which I have, but you probably can't see that well. Yeah, you kind of can if you see, right there. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, that sets me apart from everybody else as well, Osgood Schlatter. And, so these are my final calculations describing why I am unique. I turned all of my fraction or my percentages into decimals, and they all are right here, 10 of them, because we had 10 characteristics. When I went through and multiplied all of them together, I got 0.0000042, or 0.000042% are people like me. Then when I went through and went to find another different way to calculate it, like you wanted us to, it came out to be that I was 1 in 2,380,952.381 people. Not sure if I said that number right. I'll try again. 2,380,952.381. I am 1 in that number, which is pretty neat, I think. And yeah. So that was my presentation. I hope that it was significant and, well put together for you to understand, and learn more different things about me. And yeah, so my name is Topaz Burgett, and I am one in about 280 million people, I'll say, which is pretty unique. Thank you, Dr. Conti, for giving me this experience to, look up more things about myself, find out where I am in this population, and thank you for just helping me learn more about myself. So that was my final exam. Like I said, I hope it was everything that you envisioned. Thank you again for teaching us this semester, for sticking with us, even with the whole online situation. It was very hard for a number of us, and I've got to be honest with you, I'm so grateful that you decided to continue on this course the way you did, in a nice, progressive, timely mannered, flexible, education system, because this was just all over the place, and I was very grateful to have you as a professor. So I just want to say thank you again. This is already 16 minutes. I'm sorry, but stay safe, stay clean. Thank you again. Bye-bye.